Hello there, my cosmic dumplings. How are you? Welcome to 2023 on my channel. This is the first video of the year. The video is sponsored by Skillshare. I'm delighted to be working with them. I always love working with Skillshare, and I will give you a little bit more information about the platform and the benefits of the platform a little bit later in the video. This video is going to be about my emotions towards 2023, the plans that I have, etc. I did not have a lot of strong feelings about 2023 as it was upcoming. Usually when I'm faced with the new year, when I'm kind of, looking directly at it and it's just a couple of months until that changeover, I tend to be someone who gets quite excited. I wouldn't say that I'm a New Year's resolutions person. I don't really like that terminology, but I definitely start to think about my intentions. Particularly my intentions related to the earthly stuff, so travel, money, home stuff, places I want to visit, people I want to see, aims related to physical fitness and wellness and goals in that area. I definitely have thoughts about creative goals that I have, and I really enjoy going through that process of thinking about, like, what is my word for the year? I usually choose a word to navigate my way through the year, stuff of that nature, right? I actually didn't think about any of that stuff this time around. And I think it's because 2022 was by far the worst year of my life so far. And so I just thought of 2023 as a continuation of my healing. And I think for a while I thought it would be too harsh on me to put any aims into place. And I also just didn't feel inspired to be honest. But something happened to me in November and December of last year, and it was related to my clients. So usually every single year I put out a bunch of readings that are designed to help someone tailor their intentions and aims for the year ahead. So I do like a mini New Year reading, like a welcome 2023 reading. I do a full length 2023 reading. I do a Yule reading, those kinds of things. And so I come into contact with a lot of clients for the last couple of months of any year who are looking to really shape and define what it is that they want to achieve for the year ahead. And they are excited about it and they have their eyes on goals, So because of that, I started to feel tingly about New Year, and I started to feel like maybe I would choose a word of the year and maybe I would have certain aims or things that I definitely wanted to look towards. And then one night I was just lying in bed, I think, and I just had this explosion of inspiration in my brain. It was like the muse came to me, and I just realized that I actually do feel an affection about that turning time when the new Gregorian year comes in. So I let myself go there. So I want to talk a little bit about what I decided and about the depth year that I am doing. In 2019, I did a depth year. I recorded my responses to the whole concept of the depth year and how it was going for me. I'll leave my 2019 depth year playlist down below if you're interested in any of that stuff. And so for 2023, I've decided to do that again. It's going to be slightly different to last time, but with a lot of the same elements as well. So I want to talk a bit about that too. I want to talk first of all about my word of the year for 2023 and some other stuff as well. But if you're not interested in that stuff and you want to go straight to depth year stuff, then timestamps, as always, darlings, are going to be down below. So just skip this section. Okay, so my word of the year for 2023 is earth. And it sounds maybe odd for me. I don't really think I'm that much of an earthy person. Certainly when it comes to tarot, I think all card slingers have a particular suit in the deck that they are, that they tend to find is the most shadowy for them and the most difficult for them. And for me, that would be the suit of pentacles, the earth suit. I don't know, I just tend to find that I struggle with being embodied. I struggle with consensus reality. I struggle with the things that the element of earth usually symbolizes. And I think my beingness struggles a little bit with being on planet. I'm more of your typical astral bitch, to be honest. So why the word earth? Why did it come to me in this flurry of inspiration, and what does it mean to me? I think earth to me this year is really representative of how I want to bring in stability, calmness. I really want to be gentle with myself. I want to honor that this year is a continuation of a large, complex healing process, and that there are still lots of parts of me and my life that are very fragmented, very confusing. And I don't want to add to that confusion by doing anything too lofty. I want to bring everything to just like body, home, and good time management. So here we go. I'm going to read a couple of other words that I chose alongside. So the main word of the year is earth. And then to flesh it out, to explain what it means to me, I've also chosen the words base, roots, consistency, strength, health, simplicity, depth, and movement. And that last word, movement, is very much pertaining to movement in my physicality. So just feeling very embodied, feeling like I'm connected to my physical being, really just enjoying that, you know. Base and roots, I mean, I suppose that does what it says on the tin. It's about that stability, you know, feeling sturdy in myself and making sure that the basic, you know, bottom of the like pyramid, you know, bottom of Maslow's hierarchy is kind of, you know, it's where it needs to be, right? Consistency, strength, and health. I think that's all related to making sure that I'm consistent with my desire to stay checked in and be very day to day and let myself be connected to the earth and connected to my body, connected to my home, connected to my physical possessions, and just feeling like I'm enjoying the small and simple things that bring me a great deal of comfort and bring me a sense of the only word I can think of, my darlings, is sturdiness, you know, sturdiness in the core of myself, sturdiness in terms of what the next thing is going to be. I really need that this year. So earth to me is very fleshed out by these words. Simplicity, I chose that because I really want 2023 to be a year where I feel incredibly rich and enriched when I participate in things that are seen to be very simple or very mundane, not very flowery, not super elaborate, but just really like the simple shit that so often is overlooked and that we so often don't have gratitude for. Just very simple things like going for a walk, appreciating nice trees, you know, having little naps, having good gym sessions, making healthy recipes, maybe trying new recipes, that kind of stuff. And just checking in and being gentle with myself and slow and paced. I think that it's a very sort of interesting collection of emotions that come up when I think of earth and the other words relating to it for 2023. It just reminds me to keep checking in, and it's really hard to explain because it is more abstract. You know, when you choose your word of the year and sometimes it's very abstract, the reasons why you actually want to commit to that word are not sort of translatable in language. That's kind of how I feel. But you know, to the extent I can explain, I hope I'm explaining. And the word depth is because 2023 is another depth year. So with a depth year, we tend to go deeper with what we already have rather than go broader by buying more things and engaging with more things. You know, the depth year certainly is about saving money and not being as consumerist and making sure that we are very cognizant of what we are buying and making strong decisions about what we do not need to buy, you know, what we have had enough of. So I will go into my particular depth year layout in a moment. But first of all, I wanted to say that this year also I have chosen 3 power cards from my tarot deck that I feel really sum up what it is that I want to bring to this year as well. So let me grab a deck and I will show you the cards that I've chosen and explain a little bit about why they are in the mix as well. Okay, so I've grabbed my Morgan Greer tarot, my trusty Morgan Greer. I'm going to show you the 3 cards that I've chosen that kind of sum up the attitude that I want to take this year, just generally the vibration that I want to hold, my perspective on things, you know, as I go forward into making decisions and having experiences. So the first of the 3 cards is 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups I chose because I want to honor my grief. I want to recognize that this is going to be a distinctly difficult year of different firsts. Obviously, I haven't yet had the year anniversary of my brother's passing. I'm sort of staring at that now. It's in March. And so I want to be particularly gentle with myself. This has not been in any way a remotely easy time in my world. And I know I haven't shared loads about it. And as I've said in previous videos about it, I don't intend to share overly online. But I'm sure you can fucking imagine, right? I was really close to my brother. So yeah, I would say that he was one of the closest people to me. So yeah, I want to be really gentle with myself. I want to allow myself that time to grieve. I want to be very unscripted about it and let what happens happen and let myself have what I need in that process, without getting swallowed by it, without becoming completely enmeshed in it to the point where I feel like I can't do anything else. And when I chose 5 of Cups, I wrote down, respect my grief. 5 of Cups is for respecting my grief in an ongoing way whilst not being destroyed by it. So that's kind of why I chose that one. The second of the 3 power cards is the Devil. And that's also my card of the year, guys, my year card. So for the Devil, I wrote, the Devil is for facing my earth shadows like consistency, discipline, money, embodiment, and physical possessions. I've made no secret of it in the past when I've talked about shadow work, darlings. A lot of my issues that I have to contend with and a lot of things that remain in shadow for me as I get older are relating to like physical embodiment, financial stuff, organizing my space, having connections with my physical possessions, not being overtaken by them, time management, being in the real world, okay? Official shit, phone calls, paperwork, all that stuff, doctor's appointments, making sure my health is okay. Those are the things that I have to be more conscious of because they cause me more issues. I have far less issues with my creativity, my spirituality, my relationships. Those things tend to be a lot more smooth sailing, and I tend to have a lot less shadows around them when it comes to the earthly stuff, the earth-oriented concerns. You know, things that are usually under the banner of Suit of Pentacles in tarot. Those are the areas where there is a great deal of difficulty. That is why I've chosen the Devil, because I think of the Devil as a card that denotes deep shadow work, facing up to addictions and denial, looking at where you keep making the wrong decisions, breaking those chains of psychological oppression that you have to acknowledge are a part of you. So the third card I've chosen is 2 of Pentacles. Of course, I had to choose a card from the Suit of Pentacles during such a year of pentacly aims. And I wrote down for this one, 2 of Pentacles is for healthy decision making, time management, maintaining authority over my opinions and choices, seeking harmonies and variations in what I choose to do, and feeling decadent and grateful by all that this world offers. For all that this world offers, I should have written. It was quite late at night when I wrote these notes, but I was on fire when I was writing these notes. Okay, I've really had these deep inspirations. So yeah, 2 of Pentacles, like it says, I'm focused on time management. I'm focused on making good choices with my time. I tend to think of 2 of Pentacles. One of the things I think about it is that it's really about being cognizant of the decision that you're making, and really weighing up how best to invest yourself, your time, your energy, your focus. And that's what I really want to do for this coming year. So after I chose my word of the year and the associated words of the year that helped me to really connect with it, and I chose my sort of power cards for the year, that was when I realized, you know what, I want to do a depth year again. Because I really think that that will help me to connect with what it means to have Earth as my word of the year. And everything that I want Earth to mean for 2023 can be symbolized in the depth year. I think the depth year will help me to hit that sense of discipline. It will help me to be really cognizant of being grateful for those simple, mundane, ongoing things in life that give life its flavor and its joy. And, you know, I think it will fuel my desire to not escape reality, but actually to connect with it, to keep checking in with it, to keep touching base with what Earth is all about, you know, and the earthly experience. So I'm going to talk you through what I've decided for my depth year. I would be very interested to know what you guys have in store for your depth year if you are doing one. I know it's mid-January, but it is not too late to come on board, okay? We're really right at the very beginning of the year. So if you realise through listening to me that you want to do a depth year or a no-buy year or a low-buy year, you can do it with your own rules. You can do it, you know, according to your own principles and your needs. And you can hop on board and do it, you know, with me and with us, whoever else is doing it. Because I know a lot of people did it when I was doing it in 2019. I will leave down below a Facebook group that I'm part of where people that are doing a depth year or a low buy year are discussing it together. It's a really good group. I'm going to talk you through what my ideas are for my depth year. Like I said, a few differences to last time, but I think this is really going to work. Okay, so one big change from 2019 when I did my depth year then is that this year I am going to be splitting the year up into 4 quarters, right? So every 3 months, at the end of every 3-month period, I'm going to have a review and I'm going to make some decisions about if anything needs to change. The reason I'm doing that is because I do want to demonstrate discipline with my depth year, but at the same time, I definitely don't want to get myself in a situation where I pledge something for the entire year and something really changes and I really want to get something from one of my band categories or whatever, and I feel like it's important to do that. So I'm definitely going to have a review at the end of every 3-month period and make any changes or make any purchases then that I have been thinking about carefully and that I know that I want or need. So yeah, that's going to be a marked difference from 2019. So in the no buy category, first of all, guys, okay, let's talk about books. I'm a massive bookworm. I'm not the biggest bookworm. I don't read all the time. I don't read every day. I don't even read every other day. But when I do read, I go on a bit of a binge and I'll just read all day, or I'll just be decadently read for hours. And so when it comes to books, I'm basically banning books. I'm basically banning the buying of any new books, but I am going to be decluttering books. So it's a bit of a complicated one. I'm not buying books as of now, as of the beginning of 2023, but I am decluttering a lot of books. I am passing a lot of books on, you know, giving a lot of books to charity, donating books, etc. And so I will allow myself to bring a few new books in only as and when I've decluttered a number of books, you know, then I can bring new books into my collection, basically. So I'm just going to become a lot more cognizant of what is basically in my little home library. But essentially for the moment, for the first 3 months anyway, no books, no magazines. Definitely don't need any magazines. I love magazines, so this is going to be difficult, but no magazines, no magical tools, no witchy stuff, none of that shit. No decks, no new tarot or oracle decks. Do not need them. I have plenty here. No clothes. I am allowed to spend money on clothing repairs though, but no clothes. No bags, no shoes, no sunglasses, no other accessories, no watches, nothing like that. No stationery unless it's required due to something running out, obviously, something that I always use. No homeware, no knickknacks, no bric-a-brac, no shinies, no cute things that I found in the charity shop that are like little statuettes or any of that stuff. It does give me a kick and it gives me a thrill. A lot of things in my band categories do, but it's also a temporary thrill that, you know, is always replaced by the need for that feeling again of finding something special and loving it and treasuring it. And I don't have endless room. I live in a small flat, so none of that. No makeup or toiletries, again, unless there's something that I always use and I've run low. No tea. I have enough tea. No online courses. No art. No new apps, and I'm also unsubbing from the paid apps that I actually don't use or need. So those are my banned categories, my loves. And like I said, I'm going to have a 3-month check-in, especially around the courses and the apps, because I do like to purchase things that help me. I do like to purchase tools and stuff for things that I'm learning or looking into or to strengthen me up or something like that in a certain area. So I think it will be good to have those quarterly check-ins where I think about something that might have been on my mind that would be good for me, that would be good to purchase, and I will make the conscious decision then if I can go ahead and buy that. And I'll do the same with books. When I've been decluttering my books, I will continue to add things to my book list. I do have like a list of desired books and I'll continue adding to that. And then every sort of quarter, I'll make some decisions about, you know, whether or not there's any books I would like to buy. But I'm definitely not seeing those quarterly check-ins as an excuse to go crazy and buy everything that I previously wasn't allowed to in those categories. It's literally just a precautionary measure in case there is something that would be really good for me. Like I'm learning a particular instrument. I'll go into that in a minute. And I do think that I might want to purchase a paid course to help me with that instrument at some point. At the moment, it's fine. I'm using free resources and it's all good. But I do think at a certain point this year, I might want to buy a course that will help me with the instrument I'm learning. So things like that, you know, I don't want to go the whole year saying absolutely no to courses. Okay, so what is on my can buy list? I can still buy jewellery, but only if it's genuinely going to add to my collection and I don't own anything else like it. I already kind of have this rule anyway, to be honest with you. I'm very careful about the clothing I buy. I try. I could be even more careful, okay? But I do love purchasing clothing. I love thrifting. I love clothes. I love outfits. I'm a style witch. I can't help myself. But with jewellery, because it's very easy to store and it doesn't take up a lot of room, and I genuinely and sincerely fucking love jewellery, I do allow myself to buy that. I've never banned myself from buying jewellery. I love collecting shinies. And if you want to see my jewellery collection, if you want to look at some bits and pieces in my jewellery collection, you can click a link down below to go over to a big giant video where I am talking about jewellery and showcasing some of it. So yes, there will also be a budget for jewellery as well. I was thinking no more than £40 for one piece. Most of my jewellery is cheap, but some of the things I like to get are expensive. So yes, I am allowed to buy tattoos. In fact, I just purchased myself some tattoos the other day. My beautiful Ouroboros set there on my hands. I absolutely love them. They just make me feel so fizzy. So definitely allowed to buy tattoos this year. I can buy tech if it's needed for business or to update personal items. I can spend on experiences such as visits to galleries, nights out dancing. I can go for dinner. I can pay for transport to get me somewhere to visit people. I can buy classes at my local gym, and I can book in for a spa day if I want to at my gym. I am allowed to have a haircut if I want to, because I do think I might need to have one at some point this year. My mane is absolutely ridiculous now. I can buy presents for other people, but I should think, as I always do anyway, about how special it is. Can it be handmade? Can I make it personal? Is it the right gift, you know? I can give donations, and in brackets I've written I should do that more this year. I can continue with my YouTube Premium, my Spotify subscription, the apps that I use for learning, my Calm app for meditations, etc. Like, that's fine. I can carry on using those paid apps that I really do get benefit from. And I can buy like sessions for mentoring or readings. Like, I'm going to allow myself to have readings and sessions and, you know, astrology stuff. Like, you know, if I want a one-off session, I'll definitely let myself have that. That's different from ongoing mentoring. It's just like a singular tarot reading from one of my trusted readers or a new reader that I want to try out or something like that. I am allowed to do that. I'm not going to be monitoring how much of a saving I'm going to make. I'm not going to have like a goal for money that I want to save, but I should be saving money every month. I do save a little bit of money every month anyway for just like emergencies and stuff like that. But because of the amount of different things that are in my banned categories and how cognizant I'm going to be of spending money, I should see a saving. I just don't know exactly what that saving is going to be. Darlings, let me just take this moment to rave to you about Skillshare. I absolutely love this platform. It's a wealth of different possibilities for learning and growth. You really do cover a lot with Skillshare. There's different topics. There's cooking, there's film, illustration, social media, wellness, time management, personal branding for your business, you know, marketing, all different kinds of things. Really, really good for creatives. I fully recommend it. I want to talk to you about a couple of classes that I have been really enjoying. As we go on into the rest of this video today, I'm going to be talking about the different things that I want to focus on in my depth year and the time management and productivity that I want to give to different things that I'm interested in. A couple of the things I want to focus on are my visual art, my collage making, and my poetry writing. So I've selected a couple of classes that I wanted to use to help me with that. The first is Creative Productivity by Lauren Hom. This is an incredible course helping you to build a solid creative brief, list deliverables, and plan your launch. So it is more focused around productivity in the creative business sphere. And it's really about doing what you love, but making money doing it and how to make that work. The second course that I think is really great is by Brooke Glazer, and it's Productivity for Artists. This is all about organising yourself for success. It really busts through some common myths and blocks that workaholics tend to have. It addresses productivity challenges and helps you to put better habits in place. So I definitely highly rate this one as well. And this course is particularly visually pleasing, which I really appreciate. You've got the opportunity to explore Skillshare classes completely free. Check out the library for a month, really just redefine your work or achieve a new goal this year using the link that I'm going to offer to you in the description of this video. So please use the link in the description to sign up for a 1-month free trial, my darlings. I really don't think that you are likely to regret it, and of course it helps the channel. So thank you for supporting my work, and thank you Skillshare for supporting me. I want to share with you guys a little bit about what I'm going to get deeper with this year. So the depth year is all about valuing what you already have, taking taking advantage of the things that you've already bought, not adding to your collection and stressing yourself out by not knowing what to use or what to enjoy or whatever, but actually just deciding that what you've already bought is of value and that you want to go deeper with those tools and those instruments and those goodies that you already have in your possession. So I want to talk a little bit about what I plan to do in terms of getting deeper. So first of all, I want to go deeper with my clothes and jewellery this year. I really want to wear a lot more different combinations. I want to rotate my items more. I want to declutter and donate any clothing or jewellery that I don't use and that could be getting some love elsewhere. I really want to customise clothing. I want to get things repaired. I want to experiment with looks. I really want to go full style witch antics this year, guys. So it's really about appreciating. And it was the same in 2019 as well, appreciating my wardrobe, appreciating what I already have. I really want to go deeper with tarot this year. This is the second thing. I want to pore over my tarot books. I want to rotate my tarot decks more and more. I want to keep a tarot journal to collect ideas and interpretations that I haven't thought of. I don't actually keep a tarot journal, guys. A lot of people are very surprised by this, but I just do not usually keep a tarot journal. So I definitely want to do that. I want to encourage myself to have kind of like a few more tarot breakthroughs this year. I always say that I am the perpetual tarot student. I am a tarot toddler. I am nowhere near where I want to be with tarot, and I never will be. My thirst for the tool and the knowledge is insatiable. So I really just want to go deeper this year and see where I can get to. I'm definitely going to utilise the deck collection, as I said, more and more, but also I think I might do a deck declutter this year. It's possible that I might end up on some deck trading Facebook groups or Discords or whatever, just seeing what I can get instead, maybe. Third one, I definitely want to get into astrology. Astrology? Why did I say it like that? Let's start again. I definitely want to get into astrology studies this year. By the end of 2023, I should be much better in that department. I have been an astro noob for a long time, which is absolutely fine. You don't need to be an expert at everything in witchcraft. You don't need to know every little thing about every little thing, but astrology increasingly attracts me. I have a very good understanding of my chart now, but it could be better. And I would like to understand more about the transits and stuff like that. I did get Kait Fowlie's guide to the yearly transits and the astrology for 2023. I'll leave the link down below for that if you want to check out that resource. I'm really loving it so far, and I really rate Kait Fowlie for astrology information. Fourth thing, I want to go deeper with mythology, especially Greek mythology. I definitely want to reread the Norse myths. I definitely want to get into a little bit of Celtic myth, but really I am so on like really cracking open the Greek pantheon and learning the Greek myths in depth. I want to play with my mythic tarot, which is based on Greek mythology and will really help in that department. And I also want to start reading more deeply Greek myths and different books associated with it, especially like feminist retellings of the myths and stuff. I have a couple of friends who are both witches, and we're in a little WhatsApp thread that's kind of like our coven of three. And it's just amazing. Like, I love those two. They're just really great friends of mine, and we have a really good time in that thread. So we're all going to be exploring more deeply the Greek myths. I would say those two are more into the Greek stuff than me, so I have a little bit of catching up to do. Fifth thing, I want to really reconnect with my study of the Russian language. I want to get so much better this year. I want to recoup a lot of understanding and knowledge that has gone very, very rusty because I don't speak Russian that much. I don't really listen to Russian stuff that much, which is going to change this year. I want to really dive in. I had this feeling a few years ago, and I managed to kind of like recoup a lot of my lost understanding and get quite good again and reasonably conversational, and then it all went left again and I stopped, and I don't want to do that, right? I really want to sort of like to grasp it. So I'm definitely going to be putting in regular Russian language study and pulling out my books. I've already pulled them all out. They're over there in a pile. I have a lot of books, you know, like I have a book of 5,000 Russian verbs. I have Russian fairy tales. I have, you know, all of this stuff. So I don't want to waste that. I want to use it. I really, really love the Russian language. I'm kind of geeky about Slavic languages in general. So that would be a cool thing. Number 6 of the things that I want to go deeper with this year year is playing the Irish drum. I purchased a baron last year, and I only practiced with it for about 6 hours, guys. It wasn't very long, okay? Like, I got the basics down, okay? I got the upstroke, downstroke, and then towards the end of the year, I finally nailed triplets. But there is shit loads more to do, and I was very guilty in 2022 of just putting the drum down for weeks on end. But look, I mean, look, it literally was my annus horribilis, okay? Last year was the worst year of my motherfucking life. So I'm definitely not, you know, really mad at myself or anything like that. I'm very forgiving of myself for forgetting even that I had this drum and I had pledged to learn. So I definitely want to go deeper with the Irish drum this year. Number 7, I want to really connect with reading. I've written here, reading. So you know I meant it, okay? The triple reading. So I definitely want to reconnect more with my poetry books that I already own, my history books that I have on my to be read, and I want to reread a few history books that I love as well. I want to read some memoir and biography, obviously the mythology that I mentioned, and some fiction. I really want to get more acquainted with fiction, and also any like mental health or psychology. There's loads of books that I already own that I haven't cracked or I haven't sort of gotten around to. And I did a few little book hauls in 2022. But you know, though a lot of those books are still on my to be read. So I'm really interested in that. I've got lots of books about feminism that I bought last year that I haven't cracked yet. I've got some works of fiction that I bought last year that I haven't read yet. I've got 3 books on autism that I'm really interested in reading that I haven't read yet. So there's plenty to keep me occupied in that department. Plus, I'm not shy of the library. Number 8, fitness and physical well-being. So here I've written weights, cardio, home Pilates, long walks, spa days, experimenting with new recipes, seeking physical pleasures like dancing, long baths, etc. I think that kind of speaks for itself. Number 9, exploring my area more, getting to know the parks and the towns and stuff like that. I really just don't feel that I know my area remotely well enough, and there is such a treasure trove of beautiful places to see around here, and I tend to have spent my time since I've lived here just going where I need to go. I don't do much idle exploration. You know, I have my parks that I know I like and my cafes that I know I like to go to if I want to go and do some journaling or hit up some emails or whatever. And I don't really go out of my comfort zone anywhere near as much as I feel like I should for a fucking like able-bodied person that can go anywhere and do anything. A huge privilege, right? Like, for someone in that extremely gratifying situation, I don't make as much of it as I feel like I should. I feel like other people with a lot more challenges than me in that department are a lot more like explorative of their environments. That's just not on, guys. So I will be exploring my area more and probably taking you with me in some vlogging for some vlogging time. Number 10, art. Writing poetry and creating visual art. By the way, darlings, new collage pieces just dropped over on my store not long ago, so please go down and check out the collage section of my store. I do sell my visual art now. Some of it, not all of it, but some pieces are suitable to be sold, and I'm happy to pass them on, and I know they want to be in somebody else's life, so I let them speak to me, and if they say set me free, then I certainly will do. So yeah, I'm really into my poetry writing. I go to a poetry group every month, and I'm going to, you know, continue to be very invested in that. I just love posting my poetry on Instagram. You can find the link for that down below. So just carrying on with the poetry and the visual art, basically. Number 11, I've just written my business in general, my Patreon, the workshops that I teach every couple of months, my videos, you know. I want to be even more experimental with subjects for videos this year and subjects for things that I would teach. I just want to keep giving to my clients as much as possible, keep serving clients that return again and again, keep meeting new clients who have interest in working with me. If that's you, by the way, the link to my store is down below. So the 12th and final thing I want to go deeper with is the world that I live in. You know, I want to go deeper with politics and current affairs and causes and organizations. I want to be engaged with the world in a way that I feel is productive. And I want to make sure that I'm using my platform for something good and my time and energy for something good, you know? I need to flesh that one out a little bit more, but I felt like it was important to put that in there. So there we have it. That is the long and short of what I've decided on for my depth year for 2023. I will definitely make videos throughout the year to discuss how it's going, the ups, the downs, the rounds and rounds. So yeah, I'll share with you as I go through, and I am excited. I think this is going to be really good for me to do a depth year again. So yeah, I did write down my hopes and fears for the depth year. They're very sweet and simple. My hopes are that I will see evidence of the depth year working by seeing that I am using what I already have and I'm kind of hitting those deeper, more intentional points with it, you know, feeling like I'm making breakthroughs. I want to see breakthroughs. I want to feel momentum. I want to feel movement. There we go. It's one of my backup words of the year there. I've also written that I hope to discover that this won't be hard at all. I hope to be more comfortable with the process than I was in 2019. I fear that grief might make me want to buy things, so I will definitely be using my statement of intention. And this is my statement to help me to keep connecting with the depth year and reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. The statement says, this depth year is for purification and healing. It is to soothe the mind and honour the body. Adding and adding to what I already have just causes stress and the inability to make decisions about what to do with my time and energy. When it comes to aims for progression and enrichment, less is more. I want to give my energy to the things I already own, and I will see more progress than I ever could if I simply made the pile of things bigger and higher. Buying things produces a temporary illusion of movement and growth, but the reality of receiving those items depends on my response to their arrival, which is often one of stagnation, as I realise that I've made more commitments to an increasing number of objects, and this has had a detrimental effect on my sense of self. I trust my decision to do this depth year. I am already in abundance. I am not experiencing lack when it comes to material objects and their meaning. I am surrounded by wonderful things that fill my time, and those things are tools to aid my growth. I will pick one up and use it. I will not ignore it in favour of something shiny and new. Material neediness is not in alignment with who I am, and every time I decide not to take that consumerist path, I am coming home to myself. So there we go. That is what I want to keep in mind and remember during the course of my depth year for 2023. Are you doing a depth year? Let me know down below. Are you doing a low buy? Are you what kind of rules do you have in place? What do you worry is going to be difficult to stick with? And what are you excited about? I would really love to know. Conversely, are you not doing a depth year this year? Let us know down below. Are you someone who is like, I will do a depth year when hell freezes the fuck over, Kellyanne? Let's hear from you as well. We don't all have to be doing a depth year, okay? Please don't forget, darlings, I am available for readings and sessions. I want to say thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Much love, darlings. Until next time, I'll be back soon. Blessed be. Mwah. Keep it rebellious.